We stand before the pyramids of Giza, structures that have endured the passage of time for centuries. They have inspired speculation, reverence, and awe. We began with the question, how does form shape energy? The re-evaluation of ancient architecture through the lens of alternative electromagnetic field theory opens a compelling theoretical paradigm that structures such as the pyramids of Giza were not primarily tombs or ceremonial monuments, but rather advanced energetic devices engineered to interact with natural forces. At the heart of this ancient technology was water, a vital, dynamic element carrying secrets and properties we are only beginning to understand. In the age when the Great Pyramid stood in its prime, the Nile's course flowed much closer, its sacred waters brushing the very edge of the monument's causeway. Guided through concealed shafts, the Nile's waters were channeled into the pyramid's internal architecture, descending through a meticulously carved passage that to this day still bears the erosion marks of once flowing water, an engineered artery etched into the living stone of this energetic device. Much like the biotechnologies later envisioned by Victor Schauberger, the system used water as a medium, harnessing natural energy, pressure differentials, and bioelectrical energy. Some shafts acted as conduits for this living water, others served as energetic transmitters, tuned to interact with this current. It is also possible that this flow of water continued through and exited via the enigmatic Osirian shaft. The pyramid was never a static structure. It was alive with water, with charge, with resonance. The essential function here is that this hydraulic system mimicked the behavior of a Kelvin water drop generator, a mechanism that demonstrates how high-voltage electrical charges can be created solely through the movement of falling water. This same phenomenon occurs in nature, in clouds before a lightning strike, in waterfalls where ions and charges arise spontaneously from turbulence and flow. In the case of the pyramid, these charges were drawn upward into the higher chambers, traveling through precisely engineered shafts, each tuned with mathematical resonance, with precision. They ascended toward the pyramid's interior, most notably the Grand Gallery and the King's and Queen's chambers, spaces believed by some to have housed the Ark of the Covenant itself, a powerful supercapacitor composed of dielectric acacia wood and gold. Each chamber was harmonically attuned, like instruments in an energetic orchestra. Every structure played a role. These rooms did not merely contain space, they shaped it. They acted as capacitive acoustic cavity resonators, amplifying and modulating dielectric fields. In such a resonant system, the choice of stone, limestone and granite, was not symbolic, it was fundamental. As dielectric materials, they were the very substance of the biotechnology's function. As previously described, the pyramid's descending shafts functioned as water channels, but they may have served an even more extraordinary purpose. Through the entrainment of air into the cascading water, the system appears to have created a trompe effect, an ancient yet remarkably sophisticated method of generating differential pressure. This process would have produced a zone of negative pressure within the Grand Gallery and its adjoining chambers, reducing atmospheric resistance and enabling electrical charges to move with enhanced conductivity. In such a low-pressure or vacuum-like environment, the conditions become ideal for the emergence of plasma, the fifth state of matter. Within the pyramid's interior, plasma would not remain inert. It would take form, sculpted into torsion fields and vortical structures, spiraling geometries of coherent energy and motion. Many researchers of pyramid energy have proposed that this was no accident. The system may have been intentionally designed to generate and concentrate torsion energy, all within the sacred and mathematically encoded geometry of the pyramid itself. Russian researchers, particularly those inspired by the pioneering work of Nikolai Kozyrev, have proposed that certain geometric forms, especially pyramids, can function as passive torsion field generators. This potential arises not merely from their material constituency, but from their precise proportions and alignment with the golden ratio. These solid-state geometries are believed to interact with the very fabric of space-time, influencing subtle energetic fields through form alone. The pyramid, in particular, is regarded as an ideal structure for the concentration and amplification of torsion energy. According to proponents of torsion field theory, this energy is not just theoretical. It has profound biological and physical implications. It is said to enhance plant and cellular growth, accelerate healing, influence the passage of time, and even induce measurable shifts in weight. In this view, the pyramid becomes not only a monument, but a field engine, a geometrically tuned amplifier of subtle forces. In this context, we must understand the nature of this energy and the framework in which it may exist. We speak of Cartesian space, fixed in length, width, and height. But nature does not travel in straight lines. It organizes itself in spirals and vortices. Rudolf Steiner and Lawrence Edwards both emphasized that nature unfolds in projective geometry, a space defined not by fixed coordinates but by centers and peripheries as spirals and convergences. This is the same space in which torsion fields move, not radiating outward like light but compressing, rotating inward like a vortex. This is the geometry of nature, of galaxies, of the heart's electromagnetic field, and of the pyramid's energy field. It is also essential to recognize, beyond all we've explored, that the pyramids are fundamentally dielectric structures, intentionally constructed with alternating layers of paramagnetic granite and diamagnetic limestone. This material layering was not merely architectural, it served an energetic function. It operates as a colossal capacitor, or more precisely as a large-scale orgone accumulator, echoing the visionary work of Wilhelm Reich. His orgone chambers, built from alternating layers of ferromagnetic and dielectric substances, were designed to gather and concentrate life force, what he termed orgone energy. The Great Pyramid follows this very principle, magnified to monumental proportions. The dielectric layering creates a directional flow of energy functioning as a bioenergetic diode. It allows subtle energies to enter and accumulate while preventing their escape. In doing so, the pyramid gathers, amplifies, and coheres energy within its heart, a resonant core engineered to concentrate bioplasma. Inside this resonator, energy does not merely accumulate, it becomes coherent. When energy vibrates in phase, its amplitude intensifies, its structure becomes ordered, and its potential increases exponentially. The King's Chamber, precisely dimensioned and composed of dielectric materials, is believed to be tuned. Instead of acoustic pressure waves, it works with dielectric fields, generating a standing wave or a phase conjugate field. Konstantin Meil demonstrated that using spherical capacitors and resonance, energy could be transmitted non-locally through scalar waves, longitudinal pulses that do not diminish over distance. Unlike conventional electromagnetic waves, these scalar waves are not blocked by Faraday cages or conductive shielding. They pass effortlessly through matter, suggesting that they do not travel through conventional space, but through projective space, a realm described by Rudolf Steiner where all points are connected through center-based relationships rather than linear coordinates. This has been referred to by Dan Winter as the longitudinal array. This fractal net produces an instantaneous transmission that transcends ordinary spatial limitations. Within this framework, the pyramid is not merely generating energy, it is also transmitting information. Through scalar resonance, through torsion fields, and as we shall explore, through the precision of encoded star maps, it functions as a conduit between Earth and the cosmos. Its geometry acts as a morphic resonance bridge, not transmitting across space in the conventional linear sense, but through projective space. The alignment of the Great Pyramid with Orion's belt is not mere symbolism, it is function encoded in the geometry. Each of the three Giza pyramids corresponds with precision to a star in the Orion constellation, a celestial triad mirrored on Earth. This was not an artistic gesture, it was a deliberate synchronization with stellar coordinates, Through this alignment, the pyramids were tuned like instruments to morphic fields in the cosmos, enabling a direct energetic relationship between Earth and those stars. In morphic field theory, information is not only local, it is a pattern of memory distributed across space and time. Sheldrake proposed that morphic resonance allows one system to influence another at a distance, provided they share a similar form. The three pyramids form a resonant geometry, an energetic configuration that operates as an address within the morphogenetic field. This formation is capable of projecting both energy and information to precise celestial coordinates. In principle, this mirrors the operation of a radionic device. By collapsing two electromagnetic fields, it generates a scalar field, a non-local energetic node. Into this field, a witness is introduced, DNA of a person or a photograph, which acts as a locator in the net of nodes in the morphic field in the longitudinal array. This witness determines where the energy is directed or projected, whether to a specific person, place, or mind in the universe. In this light, the pyramids are not static structures, but morphic resonant technologies. In this model, the pyramid becomes a radionic transceiver on an architectural scale. It encodes celestial coordinates, acting as a spatial cipher within the universal field. The dielectric structure, composed of layered materials, functions as an energetic condenser, storing and resonating energy, generating bioplasma which exhibits coherence, order, and organization. The result is a living instrument, engineered to interface with the fabric of creation itself. What occurs when energy accumulates in perfect phase coherence within a dielectric cavity under vacuum conditions? What happens when an electrical charge builds to such intensity that it approaches theoretical infinity, reaching a critical high-voltage threshold? In bioarchitecture, we propose that such systems may open what physicists have long speculated, portals, temporary distortions in the fabric of space-time that allow for the non-local transfer of energy and information. These are not the stuff of science fiction, but emerging frontiers of physics. In the realm of quantum mechanics, entanglement already reveals that particles can interact instantaneously across vast distances. Scalar and torsion field technologies have experimentally demonstrated the possibility of transmitting energy and information beyond conventional limitations of space and time. In such a paradigm, the pyramid may not simply contain energy, it may become a transceiver to send and receive energy and information. It is not inconceivable that this technology could have reached the energetic threshold required to open a singularity, in simpler terms, a stargate. But this was more than a door to distant locations in the cosmos. It was a spiral to the center, a portal not only through space but into the depths of the universe, a convergence point where matter, energy, and mind collapsed into stillness and opened into the infinite. The ancients did not raise the Great Pyramid as a monument to their might, nor was it merely a symbol of earthly power. It was a living, energetic instrument, an alchemical device built to mimic the fundamental dynamics of nature. And as everything in nature, the pyramid was also a multifunctional technology, capable of engaging with forces beyond our modern paradigm. The same bioenergetic phenomena, tuned to a different purpose, may also have generated extraordinary fertility, transforming the land into a cradle of life, catalyzing regenerative effects across the surrounding environment. In the same way, the whole of nature also operates and sends information through this morphogenetic field. Within its sacred geometry, the pyramid may have nurtured healing energies, restoring the body, recalibrating the mind, and awakening the spirit. Seeds exposed within its field may have carried a new imprint of life, transforming agriculture and the foundation of how humanity interacted with nature. It may have even enabled thought-morphic field resonance to produce telepathic transmissions, not merely of information, but of eidetic, visionary experiences. This was a chamber of alchemy, not only in the transmutation of metals, but in the elevation of the soul. For the initiate, it offered a rite of passage beyond the veil of ordinary perception, into the profound mystery that dwells within the heart of all creation. If a civilization invested unfathomable resources into the construction of such a structure, it is only rational to conclude that this was no tomb. It was an ancient technology crafted with precision, intent, and reverence, a living monument designed not to glorify death but to uplift life. The Great Pyramid stands as the most striking embodiment of this lost science, a structure that accumulates orgone, stores dielectric capacitance, produces torsion, and transmits scalar energy. These are not separate phenomena, but many names for the same primordial force, a forgotten energy the ancients once mastered to communicate with the stars through geometry. As we begin to rediscover these principles, we awaken the capacity not merely to build structures, but to create living architecture, coherence, healing, and perhaps even alchemical transmutation. In this vision, the future of design becomes a return to our origins, a remembering of how to shape space so that spirit may speak through it once more.